Hey, John.
Hey Eric, how you doing tonight?
Good. Episode 300. You
How
know what that means,
how
right?
is that possible?
I
Uh, that
this
it's divisible by 2, 5, 10, and 20, 15.
See, you're stuck on math still.
Oh,
We ended
okay.
last show with you understanding math.
Oh,
No, no,
okay.
no.
Okay.
300. This is Sparta. We need to cut in that little audio clip and then get in trouble for
Oh,
This is episode
I
300.
I have never seen that movie.
I I think I've seen it, but it was a long time. It was from 2006. It's a long time ago. But that's the famous "This is Sparta," and he kicks the guy into and then the 300. You know the whole story about it, right?
Well, like there were
The
300 soldiers or something like that.
Yeah, versus 300 soldiers that held back millions. I don't remember what the real numbers are, but anyways, it's a great story. Anyways, episode 300.
Episode
Here we
300. Well,
are.
congratulations. That's nearly six
Yes,
years.
Patting myself on the back.
Getting on to that's a long time.
It
That's
is
more than a
a
tenth of
long
your
time.
life.
Well, when you put it that way, what other things do I do a tenth
Oh,
of my life?
I'm sorry. I'm still with the
You
maths.
know,
Yeah.
math is strong in this one.
Congratulations. uh,
So,
yeah.
another exciting thing that happened to me this last week.
Okay. What is exciting?
I I got my Blue Sky invite. You know,
Oh,
the
congratulations.
X
The
Twitter,
Twitter
X,
alternative.
yeah, the Twitter alternative. And so I don't know it,
Although
so I came
now
on.
now that Twitter's not using that trademark anymore, maybe it could be Twitter.
Maybe they could rename it to Twitter.
Buy the trademark from the Musk.
Yeah. Anyways, so I don't follow anybody. It doesn't know me from anyone, and it clearly still needs work because as I scroll through kind of the random feed of I don't know anybody, and it's just a bunch of angry ex Twitter people posting angry posts, but just with a different political bent. Twitter X kept a certain political bent, and the rest went apparently to Blue Sky. And also, I get a lot of posts of furries, which I don't know what Blue Sky is trying to tell me, but like every other, it's a doodle of a furry, and there's I don't know what that means. That Blue Sky, which knows nothing about me, is filling my feed
Well,
with
it's
furries.
probably what do people on there like. It has
Yeah.
a naive appreciation algorithm of some sort.
And it's hard to find people on there that I followed on Twitter. So I'm following two people on Blue Sky so far. I mean, I've just been
There's no
barely
search.
looking at it. There is, but I'm not I'm searching. Maybe I just need to search for individual names, like find the people I follow on Twitter. So I'm following two: the New York Times and Randall Monroe. Those are the two people on Blue Sky,
Okay.
which I'm following right now. So hopefully I will stop seeing certain things and start to see more news related things.
Can you search
which is what I use Twitter
tags? Can you search tags? Search for like security or
for.
infosec or something like that, and then see who's posting.
I don't see a lot of hashtags so far. So I don't know what the like I said, I'm sure I will learn. Maybe I can report next week if I spend some
Yeah.
time and play with it a little bit more. But yeah, it's just
Is
a
it
different
is
angry
it
platform
is
as
it
far as I
better
can
than
tell.
Mastodon at the moment?
Well, Mastodon, you joined a server that was pretty much focused. It was decentralized.
Yeah.
So it's decentralized as well. So you can have your main Blue Sky handle, and then people can create federated servers that are specific to things to hook into the Blue Sky network. I haven't found any of those yet. So
Well, I have
I-
as
I-
much
I don't
chance
know.
of getting a Blue Sky invite as I have of winning the lottery, and for the same reasons.
because you don't play.
Pretty much.
I can do mental math too. Um, anyways,
Yeah.
holiday weekend, Labor Day. Did you do anything exciting?
I did a couple fun things. Yeah. I mean, so on Saturday, I helped a friend install some solar panels and then had him tell
Hmm.
me what was wrong with my car. So that was awesome.
Which one?
The Explorer.
I could have answered that question. I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, the one that I'm trying to limp along. Um,
The one
but
that has clearly been 300,000 miles, but the odometer stopped, and you're just like, I'm guessing at this point.
yeah, actually, he said while we were there, he's like, wait, does the speedometer work? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, so it's definitely in the dash, not in the transmission, if the speedometer is working correctly. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, but you said the dash one was the harder one to get in and fix, and he's like, yep. I'm like, well, it's gonna stay broken anyway. But and then Sunday morning, I got up super duper early and went fishing on the Columbia for salmon, which was awesome. I love fishing. You know, I've said that a few times on here. Caught one. We got, let's see, there were 6 of us on the boat, and 4 of the 6 caught a fish. And I was one of the 4. So I guess that would be a 66% chance. But continue the maths. But it was fun. It was awesome. It was, the first 2 hours were where we had all the action. And then it was just like being out on the river for 4 or 5 more hours. With pretty much very little action. And oh my gracious, it was. I'm glad we were on a charter boat, a guided fishing experience, whatever, and because it was combat fishing. I swear to you,
Combat fishing?
there were so many boats. So many boats. I should show you a picture. I mean,
so you were fighting for the best spot. All the
well, everybody's trolling.
Owners were fighting for the best spots.
Everybody's trolling, and so they're you're driving around, you're dragging lines behind you, and within a football field around you, so say 100 yards around you, I'm gonna go with there were 20 boats, like within that circle. I mean, and mostly they kind of did this, you kind of formed lanes, kind of going up and around.
Yeah.
But anytime somebody got a fish, they would like go to, turn to the side, and like all the other places would have to go around. And we definitely saw people who had snagged lines from each other, and like, oh, that boat up there is hooked to that boat down there. And thankfully that didn't happen to any of our lines. But that was due to the professionalism, I will say, of our guide. But anyway, I had
other boats a little less professional, I take it.
Oh, it's lots of beer, being drunk.
I was gonna say
I mean, it was a holiday weekend on like one of the best fishing weekends. The fish were definitely in. We caught 4 fish within like an hour and a half, and then nothing. But but we saw other people catching things, but slowly, but anyway, so caught a fish, and I guess the 6 of us kind of divvied it up equally-ish. So everybody went home with some. And I have a friend who likes salmon, because I don't actually like to eat salmon that much. So we gave it to him, and he was very grateful and excited.
Nice.
But that was a great day. And then the other big thing I did this weekend was I told you I was going to get a super honey, and it's been sitting up in my utility room for like 2 weeks because I went camping last weekend. And then, so I got out the extractor and just did it, up here at home, because I only had the, 9 frames, and I got it's about half of a 5-gallon bucket. So call it 2.5 gallons ish, maybe 2.3, 2.4.
More math.
It's a pattern
got a
of
theme going.
it's a pattern of my life, honestly, which is not a bad thing. But
No.
yeah, so I have not yet put it into jars. But it will soon make it into jars. The jars are here from Amazon. They're literally sitting on the counter, just kind of waiting for that to pop to the top of my. And now I'm going to go do this next, which will probably be this weekend. But
Nice.
But maybe tomorrow night. We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's exciting, and it tastes good-ish, I will say. I mean, I
there was the delay in there.
well, I left it on the hive or the colony for way later than normal. So it's definitely not blackberry honey. It's super dark. I'll tell you, my wife says she thinks it tastes like buttered toast, which I guess that means it's got must have. I mean, it has a little bit of a burnt flavor,
A little woody flavor.
But so you'll have to tell me what you think after you get a jar.
All right.
And what you think. But I mean, it's honey. You can't go wrong. I mean, you put it on buttered toast, and it's like buttered toast square.
Put it
it's
in
awesome.
things instead of sugar. It's great.
Yeah. So anyway, it's all good. So I'm excited about that, and it's more than I had thought that I would get, to be honest. So I don't quite know how many jars that will make, but it's all good. I think 20-ish, maybe 25 if I'm lucky. But yeah, so that was my big things this weekend. Did a little bit of outside work. Got stung really badly mowing the lawn twice, and I don't know if it was the same yellow jacket or two yellow jackets, but once on my hand. So if in the last day or three you've seen me kind of messing with my hand on video, it's because I have a yellow jacket sting right there in between my thumb and forefinger. And first finger, and
those are the worst.
And then also on my back, which is still super itchy, but whatever. Yellow jackets, there.
Yeah,
they're not bees. Bees are awesome. Yellow jackets, not. What are you gonna do? Anyway, so did you do anything fun this weekend? Anything else fun this weekend?
Well, we got together with a bunch of neighbors at a park. Had enough families and kids around for some wiffle ball, badminton, big potluck foods, and most of the adults sitting around chatting about school starting. And then Oregon reminded us that, hey, I like to rain on things. But it was good. It was nice, overcast, but nice until we were all about done anyways. And then it was like, well, guess the party's over. So, no, it was fun just to kind of get together and relax with the neighbors on a Monday.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Thanks, you're reminding me. I have a gutter on the back side of the house that was not going down the gutter spout that I need to get up and clean before the next time Oregon reminds us that, hey, you live in Oregon.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well, how about a topic? What'd you bring tonight?
All right, so I got a little bit of a theme going on myself today.
Okay.
First off, we're going to talk about Mom's Meals. So this is a great idea. This is a meal delivery service for people with chronic health conditions, people that can't get out. It's a delivery service.
Yeah, Meals on Wheels kind of thing.
Kind of thing, yeah. But so it's called Mom's Meals, and they had experienced a cyber attack. Their parent company, Per Foods, indicated that resulted in the encryption of certain files, and that tools commonly used to steal data were found on the network. And so, we can't rule out the possibility that data was taken from one of our file servers, the company said. So the thing here, though, is they started notifying people of the data breach. And a lot of these are people, it included the stuff that was lost would include Medicare, Medicaid, people who don't qualify for government assistance, the company's current and former employees, independent contractors, customer name, social security numbers, driver's license, state identification numbers, financial accounts, payment card information, medical record numbers, health information, treatment information, diagnosis codes, meal categories and costs, and health insurance information, and patient ID numbers. So pretty much everything.
Why would they have to store health information? Maybe for allergy purposes? I'm trying to, like, there's this notion of, store the minimum that you need to do whatever you're trying to do
your job.
But holy moly.
Yeah. So the kicker here is, they got a cybersecurity company to come help them and look into it. But the I'll call it the final checkbox against them was, and we've talked about this with other companies doing the same thing. They published the breach notice as they're supposed to by law on their website, but they flagged it as no index. So that means search engines wouldn't pick it up. So there's no way to search and find it unless you go to the website and walk their tree to their whatever, about us, newsroom, whatever. Yeah. You had to find it.
That is such an anti-pattern.
It is. And as a follow-up-y throwback, Pure Food said they're providing access to credit monitoring services for 12 months via financial and security consultancy giant Kroll, which we talked about last week, who just had a security breach. That was the SIM swapping thing with T-Mobile and Kroll. So
it's like Yertle.
Yeah.
Yertle the turtle all the way down.
So there you go. So that was my first one. It's Mom's Meals. If you happen to have or know someone who uses that service, they probably have been notified, and lots of stuff was borrowed from them. Now the second
something about Maine. That's where the data breach was filed in Maine. Is Mom's Meals nationwide, or is that more of an East Coast thing? Around here, we definitely have Meals on Wheels. I see.
Yeah,
I see that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a only East Coast thing or what. The article that I have doesn't call it out, and I did not dig into anything further on it. But cool. Now the second one I have is we have Mom's Meals. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Papa's Pals. Right, so Mom's gives you meals. Papa's Pals. So with the advent of the gig economy and under the same notion of Uber and DoorDash and, kind of these let people provide a service for someone else, inserting themselves as a third party. So what Papa's Pals are is you can sign up to be somebody's pal, and you can go visit elderly people and just be their friend. Maybe do some chores around the house. You get paid. And there's a lot of benefits to this. I was reading some of this alternative stuff. Is health insurance companies they'll cover it because they find people have less heart attacks, less stress. They end up in the hospital less just by having someone. They can have 1 hour visit a week from a Papa's Pal, and anybody can go sign up to be a Papa's Pal, and then you get your app and you get said, hey, you're going to go visit, George or Frank, and he wants, he just wants someone to tell war stories with, or so, whatever it is. It can be anything. Well, you can imagine what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah.
We saw all the things that happened wrong with Uber. Great idea. And if your vetting process for who the pals are or who the recipients are is, let's say, not as thorough as it should be, things happen. And so this article was in Bloomberg about, it talks about, and, as you go through different scenarios, they play out as you might expect. The incident records, the reading here, different incidents, unfortunate incidents are, infuriating, heartbreaking, and cartoonishly absurd. Sometimes the Papas are the ones behaving badly. Sometimes pals have filed complaints alleging the client tried to kiss or fondle them, or their residences were covered in feces or infested with cockroaches, or in one instance was home to an alligator. And then the other times it's the pals doing less savory things, stealing, harassing. There's just a quote here, getting naked. I'm not sure.
I don't want to know anymore.
Why? Yeah, exactly. I don't. Okay. And, the dispute, it was, suggested, of course, Papa's, it was you're lax on your safeguard. And of course, Papa's Pals disputes that. And they're showing that, like I said, no good deed goes unpunished.
Right.
That you have this thing, a Medicare Advantage plan pays for these. I mean, it is a great idea
Potential.
to do this. There is potential there, but
and I'm sure that like 90% are positive experiences on both sides, I would think.
Yeah.
Some
to the point,
percentage, I'm just guessing. But.
Yeah. To the point you've convinced health insurance companies who are historically stingy with dollars they spend, right?
Exactly.
Offering to pay for the services. So anyways, there's kind of my two. The first one's kind of the cyber break, mom's meals, victim of a cyber attack. Papa's, the gig economy, kind of the Airbnb. I guess the other one you could throw out there is you saw the Airbnb in New York. What's happening in New York?
I did. That they are
basically new regulations for the state of New York. I don't know if it's a state or just
I think
New
it's
York
the city. It's the city.
Basically make it Airbnb basically said, we're out. I mean, the rule. Anyways, maybe that's a topic for another day, but there you go. There's my two articles.
Yeah, you got the
Mom's Meals and Papa's Pals.
Papas.
That's right.
Okay. Well, I'm not following your theme. Sorry. But maybe you have the mamas and the papas and the ducks. So my article is the U.S. Let's see. It was a group of agencies, but I think it's the Department of Justice and the FBI announced a coordinated crackdown against QakBot, the complex malware family used by multiple cybercrime groups to lay the groundwork for ransomware infections. So the article I'll throw here is the Krebs link, but it said that and we talked about another instance of this a year or so ago. Seems like it was about a year ago, where the government basically got permission from a judge, from a court, to deploy an uninstaller, basically, through the command and control servers. So this says the international law enforcement operation involved seizing control over the botnet's online infrastructure and quietly removing the QakBot malware from tens of thousands of infected Microsoft Windows computers. In an international operation announced today, dubbed Duck Hunt, the U.S. Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation said they obtained court orders to remove QakBot from infected devices and to seize servers used to control the botnet. So,
well done.
Yeah, it said it's most significant technological and financial operation ever, led by the Department of Justice against a botnet, and that QakBot has been implicated in 40 different ransomware attacks over the past 18 months that collectively cost victims more than $58 million in losses. And let's see, it seemed like it went pretty fast. I don't think it didn't look like I pulled the data up, but I want to say it was something like they first got access to the servers on August 25th or so. And then I think this article was from August 29th. Yeah, 29th. So moved pretty fast. See if I can confirm that first date. Yeah. So let's see. What else did I pull out of here? If it said how many infected devices they uninstalled from, I didn't catch it because the numbers that they used in the article were, Like the language wasn't that, hey, these are the servers that the devices that we impacted. So, because it says the DOJ says their access to the botnet's control panel revealed QakBot had been used to infect more than 700,000 machines in the past year alone, including 200,000 in the United States. That they worked with France, Germany, Latvia, Netherlands, Romania, and the UK to seize more than 50 internet servers tied to the malware network and nearly 9 million in cryptocurrency. The DOJ declined to say whether any suspects were questioned or arrested, citing ongoing investigations. Let's see. And then here's like the last two kind of cool things about it. Well, this first one isn't cool. Sorry. The QakBot is a botnet used to deploy other types of malware.
Right.
And the uninstall only uninstalled QakBot itself. So if you were already infected with something else, it didn't clean that up.
Right.
So this is just a botnet cleanup. Not necessarily, all the infections cleanup. So you still need to have some other security software or remediation identification in order to clean up the other stuff on the servers. So, but it does prevent the QakBot software from loading other software onto the victim's computer. At least presuming it doesn't, reinfect via whatever means it had in the first place. But, that isn't always it isn't always easy to get back in. But that relates to the second thing, which is actually, I think, cool. So it said that the DOJ recovered more than 6.5 million stolen passwords and other credentials as part of presumably their access to the command and control servers, but it didn't actually say that. But that it has shared this information with 2 websites that let users check to see if their credentials were exposed. Have I Been Pwned? Which we haven't talked about Troy Hunt and Have I Been Pwned in a while, but still kind of cranking along. And then the second one was, and I haven't done anything with this, but a Check Your Hack website that has been erected by the Dutch National Police. So,
okay.
So that's awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
So you can use Have I Been Pwned? I haven't gotten any emails from them for a while, so I guess that's a good thing.
It's definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
Neither have I. So.
Maybe I should check and make sure that I'm still subscribed to receive emails, but as far as I know, I am. Anyway, okay, so that's the article. So congratulations, that's awesome. I think that even though it didn't completely clean up those machines, that doing that is a much larger potential impact to whoever owns all those, hundreds of tens or hundreds of thousands of machines.
Yeah, I'm sure they only got the court order for QakBot.
Well, exactly. Yeah. What are you going to
do? They weren't able legally. They were not able to do anything else.
Yeah.
So
no.
Even if they could or wanted to.
This is a relatively new thing, right? Only within the last. I'm trying to say a
couple
year
of years.
Or so.
I want to say
maybe a couple of years. Yeah. And I hope that it's not a means justifies the end or the end justifies the means kind of thing. But because it does seem like it's the sort of thing that it's like maybe it's picking up trash on the side of the road. I mean, that road belongs to other people, but you still got to pick up trash. I don't know. I don't know. Trying to think of an analogy. Okay. Right. Well, hey, how about something fun? What'd you bring me tonight?
All right. So my something fun is, so I think in the past I have done Wordle.
I seem to remember you doing that. Yep.
It was a game. I don't know if it was a website and then an app and then a lot of clones and copies. And then the New York Times bought Wordle.
Yes.
And so now, as part of your New York Times subscription, you can do Wordle, and then they have analysis. So that's like my routine in the morning is I wake up, and to get my brain started, I do the Wordle. That's kind of one of my routines.
Okay.
My wife has discovered a Wordle adjacent word game that she now has a love-hate relationship called Connections. It's similar to Wordle, except in that, you're trying to, it's a word game. But this one, it's a 16, well, let's see, 4x4. Yeah, 16 words. And you have to figure out four of the words of each of those words. So 4 sets of 4 have some kind of connection to each other. And usually, if you look at the words, there's probably 5 or 6 words that seem similar. So, for example, today's, you might look at that and go, let's see, there's gnome, goblin, ogre, troll, dragon. Those are kind of, mythical beasts. So which of the 4 are the real ones? Because you got to, all sets of the 4 have to match, right? So, you've got bud, leaf, plant, petal, stalk. Well, so the idea is you get, I think you get 3 errors. So you guess the 4.
I get it. So in this case, so stalk and troll are verbs, not nouns.
Possibly, yeah, because stalk and troll, if you pick those. So the idea is you pick 4 and then submit. And then it tells you, did you pick the right 4 or not? So you kind of got to solve all 4 at the same time because, which ones map to which one as the thing. So, for example, bud, leaf, petal, stalk are all parts of the flower. So those are your 4 that match. And the one that didn't match was plant, because plant matches with agent, mole, plant, and spy, which are involved in espionage, related to espionage. And so once you get kind of the first 2, then it makes it a lot easier to get the last 2. But it's kind of a fun game. If you like trying to think of words with different definitions and kind of grouping them. And the trick, like Wordle, is to do it in the fewest number of turns possible. And like Wordle, you can post your results on social media, with the right, I did it in, 1 turn, or I had 2 mistakes, and it kind of maps out the squares with different colors, similar to how Wordle, it was popular to post your Wordle guesses online. So,
I see that. Okay.
It's a fun little game. It's a little word game. And I know while it's been made clear this episode, you're very much into math. I know you're also a word person. So
I am. There you go. I did make 1 mistake in that.
There you go. So there you go. That's my something about it. You just Google New York Times connections, New York Times game connections, and it's free. Anybody can just log in. You don't have to have a New York Times subscription to play the game. And it's a quick hit, takes you 2 or 3 minutes, but just to make your brain function.
That's cool. Okay.
I like it. Anyway, so that's my something.
That's fun. Well, I do like words. You know that. Okay. Well, my something fun tonight is a science-y thing. It is
nice.
A article. I think I got this in one of the newsletters I subscribe to is TLDR. I think it's
same.
I think they've got several newsletters, but I think it's just like the base one. But this is a Australian researchers who found a way to reprogram cells from adults so that they're more like embryonic stem cells. So stem cells, right? Useful for many things. Cells in the body that can become any cell instead of a specific cell, right? So, most cells in your body, once they are a skin cell, they replicate and create other skin cells, not other, eye cells or something else. But stem cells can become any type of cell. And a problem is that most stem cells, embryonic stem cells, which are the quote unquote most able to change into anything, are hard. It's hard to get. Limited supply. Generally generally come from people who are undergoing in vitro fertilization and the other. It says 3 to 5 day embryos, so tiny and But if we can reprogram adult cells to be stem cells or stem cell adjacent, there can be multiple benefits, not just the supply side, but also the fact that you can be your own donor. So we'll minimize the risk of rejection. So there have and are other ways that adult cells can be reprogrammed, and they're called induced pluripotent stem, or IPS cells. So that's good and useful, but there can be problems with them because they're not real stem cells, and it says in here that the problems with generally IPS cells is that there can be essentially memory within the cell of what it came from in what's known as the epigenome. I think that's how you pronounce it. And so it's what they've done. It says Lister and his colleagues have developed a new technique called transient naive treatment, or TNT, like dynamite, which resets the cell's epigenome during the reprogramming process, effectively wiping the, quote, memory of the IPS cells and making them more like embryonic stem cells. So it says that to develop it, they studied what happens to the epigenome during the reprogramming process to see when abnormalities appeared. They then added a step to the process that mimics an epigenetic reset, something that happens naturally in embryos prior to implantation into the wall of the uterus. According to these researchers, these IPS cells were able to differentiate into a variety of specialized cells better than ones created using the standard reprogramming method. So, fantastic. Science marches on. If we can figure out a way to, have a better availability both for study and for ethical questions and for just pure actual application of treatments, hallelujah. That's fantastic. So
absolutely,
this was I saw this and I was like, oh, that is awesome. So there you go. Cool. That's my something fun.
Nice.
Stem cells for all.
Science for all.
Yep.
All
right, my friend. Number 300. Congratulations 300. Again.
This was Sparta.
End where we begin. Okay, I'll go watch that video link you put in there.
All right, John. Have a good night.
I'll talk to you later. Bye, Eric.
We'll see you. Bye.